Hello. Welcome on back to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well. Today I've partnered up with Sephora to share with you a quick and easy makeup look that's perfect for the holiday season. So thank you to Sephora for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, if you want to learn how I created this look right here, then keep on watching. So to begin, I'm using the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream to prep her skin with. Now our beautiful model Megan has told me that her skin type is on the drier side. So in cases like this, I often find myself reaching for this Tatcha cream because it's quite hydrating and helps the makeup lay down so beautifully. Next up, I'm going to color correct using this NATASHA DENONA Corrector in the shade C4, and I'm dabbing this onto the areas of the skin I want to neutralize a bit, such as around the eyes and mouth. We really don't have to go too, too overboard with Corrector. It's intended to be used in conservative amounts, and once we have the foundation and concealer applied on top, it's going to really support the overall tone of the skin. For foundation today, I'm using the HAUS Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation in the shade 300 Medium Neutral. And using 2 pumps of this, I'm applying it on with a brush before you see me in a moment use a sponge to further blend this in with. I feel like 2024 has been the year of foundations. Like, so many brands have released one, and good ones too. One Size came out with their Turn Up the Base foundation. Patrick Ta came out with one too, and the formulas are all very different. So I definitely recommend checking them all out during the Sephora event. And I'm going to speak about that in a moment too. But first, I'm going to take this HAUS Labs concealer in the shade Medium Deep Neutral and use this to bronze up her skin with, applying it on with a brush to the perimeter of the forehead and beneath the cheekbones. Just recently, I started using a deeper tone of this concealer on myself as a liquid bronzer, and I've been loving how it looks, so I wanted to try it on someone else today, and we'll come back in just a moment to blend this in as well. But in the meantime, I'm using this NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam concealer in the shade P4 to conceal and brighten around the eyes. Tapping it on, and we'll blend this out after the bronzer. Now this concealer you see me use, on almost every model in every video. So if you're on the hunt for a new concealer, I absolutely recommend checking it out at Sephora. In fact, while I'm blending this all in, let's break down the details of the Gifts for All event. This is Sephora's biggest sale of the year, by the way, and the event is currently happening. It began on December 6th and ends on December 15th. So basically, either in-store or online, you can get 20% off your purchase with the one-time code HAVEITALL and 30% off all the Sephora collection products. Now, you do have to be a Beauty Insider member, so if you're not already, I'll put all the information down below in the description box, along with a link to sign up. It's completely free, and honestly, it's so worth it because we get to take advantage of these savings events. We get free shipping and so much more. And of course, as always, I'll put the links down below for all the products I used today, since everything I'm using to create this look can be found in Sephora or on Sephora.com. So yeah, now that I've finished up on the blend here and everything is looking seamless, I'm going to take this One Size translucent setting powder and use this to set the concealer into place. I've loved this powder for years because it's so smooth and never looks cakey on the skin. They also have this formula in tons of other shades depending on your skin tone and the effect you're looking to achieve. Now for the rest of the face, I'm using the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation Powder and lightly tapping this on to not only set the foundation, but also to mattify it a bit. While I usually like a really dewy skin finish, there's something nice about a satin matte finish that looks so polished and clean, especially with a bold red lip. So that's the look we're going for today. Next up, I'm using the Fenty Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Island Ting to amplify the liquid bronzer we used earlier. Now, if it's too much for you to use both liquid and powder bronzer, you can totally skip the liquid. That's completely fine. You'll get to the same finish line by just using your powder bronzer. I don't want to overwhelm you with the steps, but more so focus on the technique and placement. And for those of you who like blush, I'm using this Patrick Ta Blush Duo in the shade she's the moment, and popping this right onto the cheeks. This shade is perfect because it adds a kiss of color, but it's not enough to take away from the bold red lip we'll later do. You know what I mean? We're keeping a really nice balance of the color story. To start on the brows, I'm using this Refillable Brow Sculpt Gel to get the hairs all going in the same direction. I've grown to really enjoy this product because it doesn't dry down, leaving your brows feeling crunchy. They still feel soft, but just have a little more hold to it. Next, I'm using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo in the shade Ebony to ever so lightly fill in her brows with, focusing more so on the outer half. You know, Megan is also a makeup artist and her work is really beautiful, but we were saying that clients are particular about their brows, and it's true because we're so used to seeing our brows look in a certain way that it's hard to see them any other way. But I see her brows as already having a naturally beautiful shape to them, so I wanted to be light-handed to keep the difference quite subtle. Now, starting on the eyes, I'm taking this shade here from the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette and popping it right into the inner corner to give it a hint of brightness. We'll come back to blend this, but in the meantime, I'm tapping this shadow on and then picking up this neutral brown shade here from the same palette. I'm placing this on the outer corner of the eye before using a blending brush to smoke out these shadows. So it's not complicated at all. There's no eyeshadow primer, there's no transition shade or nothing. It's really as simple as tapping on these two shadows, diffusing them out for a smoky effect, and then I like to take the smallest amount of that brown eyeshadow to run along the lower lash line, which I think just kind of ties everything together. Once this is done, I'm then dipping into this black shadow and using this to create a soft wing liner, pressing on the pigment, gliding it out, and almost kind of flinging it upwards to create that diffusion. You can see without cutting the footage or anything how quick this can be. We don't have to be super precise with it. I'm not going for like a bold liner look, but rather a quite soft and understated look. And to glam it up a bit, I'm taking this shimmer shadow in the palette and tapping this right on top. I mean, would it really be a holiday look without a little glitter? I think because we're not using highlighter today, the lips are going to be matte, we can get away with having a little glitz and glamour on the eyes. Now for lashes, I'm using the Benefit Bad Gal Bang Mascara. I use the waterproof version of this almost every time I do my makeup. I really like it because it holds my curl, but also the wand makes it super easy to coat and separate the lashes. And then to amplify the length, I'm using these false lashes from Velour, and I find this style really accentuates her beautiful eye shape without being too dramatic. But it's at this time we can finally move on to the lips, starting with the Sephora Collection lip liner in the shade The Red, and using this to trace the borders of her lips with. This formula is really nice because it glides right on, it doesn't tug or skip at all, it's super pigmented, and we are going to use a lipstick to fill in the center, so try not to worry too much about getting this absolutely perfect. So the lipstick I'm going to use is one that I actually got in the Sephora Collection Cream Lip Stain Set. It's the shade 01 Always Red, and honestly this red looks good on everyone. It's a true classic red that doesn't veer to pink or to orange. It's just perfect, especially for the holidays. And I love the formula of these because they're extremely long lasting, they're packed with pigment and glide right on, but they dry down completely matte. So I'll usually apply a gloss on top for a high shine finish, but I'm actually really enjoying this matte lip. So I'm going to keep it as is and finish this look with the One Size Until Dawn setting spray to set and lock this makeup look into place, making this the final step in how I created this holiday look on our naturally beautiful model. There we have it, kids. I hope you all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also check out more of my work on my Instagram at Painted by Spencer. And until next time, I'll see you soon.